Welcome to Yoga with Krysta, the place to deepen your practice and find balance in all aspects of your life. I'm Krysta French, and today's class is a 30-minute Vinyasa flow for a total body stretch. So we'll begin seated on the heels. You can just begin to rest the palms on top of the thighs, close your eyes, roll the shoulders back, and just begin to breathe here. Starting to drop in. Take nice, long, deep breaths. And just starting to center your mind. And then when you're ready, you can begin to walk your hands out just to find a child's pose. So keep sinking the hips back toward your heels. Allow your forehead to rest heavily. Maybe you roll it back and forth. Feel free to take the knees together or the knees apart, whatever feels better. Just sinking into the posture. Allowing the back side of the body to stretch. And really feel your breath here. So as you inhale, the belly fills and the ribs expand. As you exhale, everything contracts, releasing completely. From here, come onto the pads of the fingers and start to walk the hands over toward the right side. So feeling a gentle little stretch across the left side of the body. Keep the left hip pressing down toward the heels. Keep reaching your hands toward the right side. And then when you're ready, walk back through the center all the way over to the left side. So same thing on this side. Really sink your right hip all the way down toward the right heel. Keep your arms stretching. Nice big side body stretch. Come back to center, really lengthening through the spine. Press the palms against the ground and then start to shift forward. Come onto your hands and knees and take a few rounds of your cat and cow here. So inhale, belly falls. Exhale, we're rounding the spine. So moving on your own breath and just rolling your shoulders back and dropping them. Letting the head get heavy. On your next inhale, right arm reaches high. As you exhale, threading the needle, beginning to move that arm all the way under the left. So finding a nice big twist in the torso. Feel free to drop the left hand behind you or walk it over toward the right side of the mat. So either way, just moving that shoulder open. Eventually that hand comes back down. Right arm sweeps high, lower it down. And then this time left arm reaches up, sweep it all the way under the right side. Finding that rotation, just breathing into the twist. Nice big inhales, big exhales. And just warming up the spine here. From here, release the right hand down, sweep the left arm high, open your chest, lower the hand, and take another round of your cat and cow. Inhale, belly falls. Exhale, rounding the spine. And then tuck your toes, lift the knees, sits bones, press all the way back, finding your first downward facing dog. And start to move around here. So pedal your heels, shift the weight through your hips. Maybe you lift a leg, roll around the knee, the hip, and the ankle. And let your head stay heavy, shoulders pulling back away from the ears. You can bend the knees if that feels good. Maybe shake the head out. Just creating length in the spine. Steady breath. From here, look forward, step up to the front of your mat, find your first flat back, and then exhale, fold in half. Inhale, arms reach up, palms press up overhead. Releasing the hands down to the heart, palms pressing, and then hands come down by the hip. So come to the top of your mat, big toes touching, heels slightly apart. Surya Namaskar A. Inhale it all the way up, palms press. Exhale to fold. Inhale to your flat back, and hands down. Step back to your plank pose. Be intentional with that core strength, and then lower down to chaturanga. Maybe the knees come down. Inhale, open your chest upward facing. Exhale, downward facing dog. So heels drop a little bit deeper. So keep grounding and pressing through the palms, reaching the heels down to the ground. Chest is moving toward the back. And just finding that evenness in the breath. From here, gaze comes forward, step or float up to the front. Find your flat back, lengthen. Exhale, we're folding in half. Inhale, arms reach up, press the palms up overhead, and hands come down through the heart and all the way at your sides. Inhale, reach up again. Exhale to fold forward. Inhale to your flat back, and hands down, step or float back if you're ready, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing dog. And just using that downward facing dog as kind of a reset pose. So noticing what's happening in your mind, and if your thoughts have drifted, just bring them back to this moment, staying present. From here, gazing forward, step or float up to the front, lengthen, find that flat back. Exhale, we're folding. Inhale, arms reach high, press the palms, and hands lower, down to the heart and down to the hips. Inhale it all the way up. Exhale, fold in half, Uttanasana. Inhale to your flat back, and hands plant, step or float back, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing, Urdhva Mukha. Exhale, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Keeping the legs nice and long. Feel free to bend those knees if you need to. And remember, child's pose is always an option, so you do not have to wait for me to offer it. Feel free to take it at any time. This is your practice, so make sure to honor your body. From here, gazing forward, step or float up to the front, flat back, lengthen. Exhale, we're folding. Inhale, sweep your arms high, palms press, and hands release all the way down to the heart and down to the sides. So from here, separate your feet about inner hips width. Interlace all but your index finger and thumb. Reach your arms up overhead. Relax your shoulders and then fold over to the right side. So a version of our half moon, Ardha Chandrasana, feeling that nice big side body stretch. Inhale to lift back up. Relax your shoulders and then begin to fold over to the left side. So nice big stretch all the way from the fingertips down through the heels. Inhale, reach back up again, and then release your hands down at the lower back. Fingers facing the floor, lift your chest, roll the heart open. So any amount of back bend that feels good. From here, come back up to neutral, hands at your hips. Keep your feet inner hips width, and then fold in half. So taking the yoga toe grip here, index finger and middle finger loop around the big toes. Lengthen as you inhale, and then exhale, fold. Stay folded here. Elbows are drawing wide. Shoulders move away from the ears. Crown of the head gets really heavy. So finding Padangusthasana, see if the hips can lift a little bit higher. And then inhale, find some length, release what you have. Flip your grip for Padahastasana. So sliding the hands completely under the feet. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to fold. So see if you can put a little bit of weight forward into the balls of the feet. So you're putting some weight on the wrists. So it's a nice counter stretch for chaturanga. Release your grip, find your flat back, lengthen the spine. Exhale, lower your hands down, and then begin to separate the feet, finding Malasana, yogi squat. So toes turn out, hips sink down, palms at your heart. Elbows are drawing in toward the inner thighs, lifting your chest, relaxing through the shoulders. And just breathe here. Steady breath. And you're welcome to stay in that Malasana, or if you have a crow pose practice or want to work on crow today, feel free to do that. So palms are down shoulder width, perching the knees nice and high on those triceps. Toes are pointing, toes are working toward touching. And then if you'd like, you can shoot it back or just step it back. So Vinyasa is yours. We're meeting back in downward facing dog. steady breath in, steady breath out. On your next inhale, reach your right leg high, open your hips, and then if it feels good, go ahead and flip your dog. Reach that right arm forward, lifting the hips nice and high, and then come on back, find your three-legged dog. From here, step that foot on the outside of the right hand. We're dropping right into our lizard pose. So feel free to drop the back knee or keep it elevated, your preference. Maybe you're on your hands, maybe you come down onto your forearms. So either way, we're focusing on lengthening out through the hips. Really reach your chest forward. So taking this as deep as you'd like it to go. Feel free to stay there, or if you want to go just a little bit deeper into the hips, again, you can lift that back knee off of the ground. Full steady breath. From here, drop the back knee if it's lifted, and then turn the big toe side of that right foot open. If it feels okay, bend your left knee, grab hold of the left foot, and start to draw it in a little bit closer towards you. Slowly release, slide the hips back, finding your half splits. So Ardha Hanumanasana. Reach your chin down forward toward your shin. You can flex your foot, you can point your toes. So really up to you here. And then if you'd like to stay there, wonderful. If you want to work into your full splits practice, you can start to work that right heel forward, sliding the left knee back, and maybe placing the palms on the ground, maybe even using blocks here if you have them, under your hands or under the front thigh. And remember, it doesn't have to be perfect. From that full splits, we're coming back into our half and then right into a lunge. So begin to put the weight forward into that right foot, bending the knee, sweeping your arms all the way up and back. Nice big crescent lunge. From here, drop the hands down and then take your vinyasa. So inhale, upward facing, exhale, downward facing dog. Steady breath, calm mind. From here, lift the left leg up, open your hips, roll it around, and then feel free to flip that dog if it feels good. Reaching that left arm forward, really opening the front side of the body. From here, come back to your three-legged dog. Big breath in. Exhale, step up right into lizard pose. So foot comes on the outside of that left hand. Feel free to stay here with the back knee down. Maybe you lift the back knee up. Maybe you're on your palms or your forearms. And again, this side might feel different than the opposite side. That's totally normal. So just making sure to honor your body wherever you are today. Steady breath in and steady breath out. From here, to go deeper, we're going to turn the big toe side of that left foot open, bending that right knee, catching the foot behind you, slowly working the foot a little bit closer. So really getting into the hip flexor, finding that stretch through the quad. Often this is really a deep and intense stretch on most people. From here, release what you have, and then slide the hips back to lengthen that left leg for half splits, Ardha Hanumanasana. Again, we're flexing or we're pointing the toes. Your choice. You can go back and forth. Flexing, you'll feel this more in the hamstrings. Pointing, you're going to feel it more in the front part of your shin. And maybe you come into your full splits by walking that the left heel forward, right knee scooting back. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. And just finding the breath. From here, we're scooting that left heel back into the half splits. Shift forward into that low lunge, nice big crescent lunge, sweeping the arms up and back. Press your hips forward, and then exhale, lower your hands, back toes tuck under, plank pose to chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. exhale, downward facing dog. Let your heels drop a little bit deeper. And maybe you take a big cleansing breath. Deep breath in. Exhale, let it go. And then we're coming down to the knees. And just begin to sit the hips back to the heels. The palms are going to rest at your thighs. And then we're lifting up to find our camel pose. So hips are right on top of the knees, palms at the lower back. Lift your chest, roll your heart open, and then tipping the gaze back any amount. So it doesn't have to be your deepest back bend. From here, we're coming back up to neutral. Pause for a moment. And then to go deeper, if you'd like this time, feel free to reach back toward your heels. Up to you. Keep breathing. Keep reaching your hips forward, reaching your chest up. Steady breath. Eventually, we're coming back up to neutral. We're going to do one more round of camel pose. So maybe you untuck the toes this time. So beginning to find your camel. If you're taking that deeper version, the palms are completely flat on top of the soles of the feet. Keeping the hips forward so the hips are totally over the knees. Breathing steady and deep. And then when you're ready, come back up to neutral. From here, we're taking a seat back onto the heels. Rest your palms at your thighs just for a moment. Steady breath. And then begin to lower the forehead down to the ground. We're going to take rabbit pose here, or hare pose. So hands come back toward your heels. And then begin to lift your hips off of the heels as you shift the weight forward onto the crown of the head. It's kind of a funky pose. From here, when you're ready, you can release into child's pose. Arms reach forward. And then begin to shift forward back into your downward facing dog. So hips are nice and high. Inhale, lift the right leg up. And then exhale, shift it through, landing in your half pigeon pose. So Ekapada Raja Kapotasana. Hip bones are squaring forward. Lift your heart up, opening through your chest. And when you're ready, you can start to walk your hands down, maybe the forearms, maybe your forehead completely relaxes here. So if you want this pose to be a little bit deeper, you're going to walk that right foot toward the front edge of the mat, so it's working toward being parallel. And if that's too deep, just walk it back towards the left hip. Either way, left leg is nice and long. See if you can relax your hips as well as your jaw here. So oftentimes our jaw really tightens up when we do these hip openers. So just be mindful of that. When you're ready, we're going to lift back up, opening through the chest. Tuck the back toes under, sweep the right leg high, and just roll around the knee, the hip, and the ankle. Lower the foot, lift the left leg high, and then sweep it forward to land in your half pigeon pose. So again, Ekapada Raja Kapotasana. Hips are squaring forward, opening through the chest. Deep breath in. Exhale, folding into it. Nice, steady breathing. And take note of where your thoughts are in this posture. So if there's somewhere else, if you're becoming distracted, if maybe you don't really want to be here in this pose, just be mindful of that. See if you can focus on the breath. Sometimes it's a tough pose just to be in mentally. So just come back to the breath. And then when you're ready, we're slowly walking those hands back. Lift the chest, palms are flat on the ground. And begin to tuck the right toes under, lift the knee, left leg sweeps high, rolling around the knee, the hip, and the ankle. So returning to your downward facing dog. Nice steady breath. And then from here, you can choose how you'd like to get down onto your onto your butt. You can either just drop your knees and spin them around. You can do a little jump through. But either way, legs are extended. Left leg stays long. Right foot comes into the inner thigh. Inhale to open your chest. Exhale to fold forward, Janu Sirsasana. So if you can take the bind, go ahead. But keep reaching your heart forward, lengthening through the spine and the hamstrings. And then eventually we're lifting back up, opening the chest. Take that left foot out on an angle, so nice and wide. Right foot comes to close into the inner thigh. Flip the left palm up, drop it on the inside of the calf. Roll your heart open. You can either just take the hand behind your head, reach your elbow toward the foot, or reach the fingers toward the foot. So this is a pretty intense side body stretch. And then when you're ready, releasing that, right hand comes behind you, left arm sweeps all the way back, stargazer pose. Let your hips come down. From here, just switching legs right into our Janu Sirsasana. Right leg extends, left foot comes in, open your chest, and fold right into it. Taking that bind if it's accessible to you. If not, maybe the hands are just on the ground or on top of the leg. Full breath. Steady breath, calm mind. From here, we're lifting back up. And that right leg's just going to extend to the right side, left foot closes in. Right hand lowers, roll your heart open, and start to stretch that side body out. So again, maybe the hand is resting at the back of the head, maybe the hand is reaching toward the foot. So think here about pulling the left rib cage open toward the sky or the ceiling, wherever you are. Right rib cage comes under. From here, releasing the left hand behind you, lift your hips, reach that arm back, and then let your hips come down. From here, coming right into Uttanasana Konasana, both feet are coming nice and wide, and you can fold any amount here. So maybe you're just taking the hands behind you, working the pelvis forward slightly. If you have more flexibility, you might walk your hands down, your forearms down. Maybe your whole chest and belly comes down. So nice big hip opener here. And keep in mind that if you're just starting to practice, that this does not happen overnight. So from here, lifting back up, closing the feet together. And then we're going to lay all the way down onto the back with the knees bent. So resting the feet about outside of your hips width. Take the hands down next to the hips. We're finding bridge pose. Root firmly through your feet. Lift your hips up. And if it feels good, go ahead and interlace your fingers under your back. Walk your shoulders under one at a time. Lift your chest. And then when you're ready, you can slowly come back down. We're coming right into our second round. You can choose wheel or bridge. For wheel, the hands come up by the ears. First, come to the crown of the head. Then lift all the way up. Keep focusing on lifting the hips, opening your chest. Breathe deeply. And then when you're ready, slowly with control, lower back down. Just windshield wiper your knees back and forth. And then draw them into your chest. Wrap the hands around the shins. Give them a nice big hug. And then allow them to drop over to the right side. Cross your right knee over the left knee. So it's just tucked under there. Arms can open wide, or you can keep that right hand on top of the knee. And gaze drops over to the left side. So just finding a gentle spinal twist. Letting the whole body relax. From here, come back to center and then allow the knees to fall heavily over to the left side. This time the right knee crosses around the left knee. And if that's not accessible for you, feel free to keep the knees stacked, or maybe you extend the legs if that feels better. So again, this is your practice. So take it where you want it to go. Always making sure to honor your body. From here, come back to center. Give the knees a nice big squeeze. Find a happy baby. So hands wrap around your feet. You can stay there just rocking side to side, or maybe one leg extends and then the other leg extends. Nice big stretch through the hips. You can windshield wiper those knees again, back and forth. And then start to extend the legs long. Let your hands drop down by your hips, coming right into Shavasana. So today's quote is from Sri Swami Satchidananda, and he says, "The cause of bandha and moksha, which are bondage and liberation, is our own minds. If we think we are bound, we are bound. If we think we are liberated, we are liberated. It is only when we transcend the mind that we are free from all these troubles." So just relaxing, staying in your Shavasana as long as you'd like. So when you're ready, slowly start to send some movement through the body. And stretch your arms up overhead, reaching them. And then draw your knees into your chest. Roll over onto your right side, resting for a moment. And eventually pressing yourself up, just finding a comfortable, easy seat. Relaxing through the shoulders, lengthening through the spine, pressing the palms to touch in front of your heart. And just take a moment to thank yourself for choosing to practice, for choosing to honor yourself. And thank you all so much for sharing your own practice with me today. The light in me bows to the light in you. Namaste.